Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Harihi Om Dhyayamo Dhavalavagunthanavatim Tejomayim Naishtikim Snigdhapangavilokinim Bhagavatim Mandasmitashrimukhim Vatsalyamritavarshiniim Sumadhuram Sankirtanalapinim Shyamangim Madhusiktasuktim Amritanandatmikam Om Amriteshwaryai Namah Om Amriteshwaryai Namah Om Amriteshwaryai Namah Om Amriteshwaryai Namah. We'll move on with our discussion on Hanuman Chalisa. So far, we covered the prelude verses, and then up to the verse 7. We discussed the 6th and the 7th verse the last week. Sorry, the 4th and the 5th verses the last week, and this week we'll look into the 6th and the 7th. We were discussing about the golden hue of Lord Hanuman the last week and about his good looking aspect, and we discussed how the goodness in us, or we look good when we look at the goodness in others and in other things. So how we look at things in a good way defines how good we look. And we discussed about the earrings in Lord Hanuman's ears, and the significance of his hair. We were just discussing about an incident relating to his hair, and then we discussed about Dhwaja and Vajra. One, Lord Hanuman holding the Vajra Ayudha, and also Vajra, which basically means the line that in the palm, which defines power. And Dhwaja, the flag. We were discussing a few things about flag, about victory. Flag in terms of the flag atop Arjuna's chariot during the Mahabharata war with Lord Hanuman's picture on it, and also Dhwaja being the line in the palm which defines fame and following, and Lord Hanuman has all of them. And about the sacred thread that Lord Hanuman wears, which is representative of his attitude of being a student, ever ready to learn, ever as a beginner, the humility in him. So these were the points we discussed the last week. So we'll move on to the 6th and the 7th verse today. The 6th verse goes as Shankara Suvan Kesari Nandan Tej Pratap Mahajagvandan. Shankar or Sankar, both are fine. S or SH, both of them are okay in Avadhi. They can be interchanged. So Shankar Suvan Kesari Nandan Tej Pratap Mahajagvandan. So please respond after me. We'll do it in 4 parts. I'll pronounce the words and please repeat after me. Shankar Suvan, Shankar Suvan, Kesari Nandan, Kesari Nandan, Tej Pratap, Tej Pratap, Mahajagvandan, Mahajagvandan. Shankar Suvan Kesari Nandan Tej Pratap Mahajagvandan. Once more. Shankar Suvan Kesari Nandan Tej Pratap Mahajagvandan. So the verse goes as Shankar Suvan. one who Lord Shiva became into, or Lord Shiva became Hanuman. Shankar, Lord Shiva. Suban, one who just became, or one who incarnated as Hanuman. Kesari Nandan. Kesari, the biological father of Hanuman. Nandan, the son. So one who is the son of Kesari. Tej Pratap Mahajagvantan. Tej Pratap. Tej, one whose power, one who is glory, one whose the Tej could be more like the positive. We could literally translate it as effulgence, but Tej basically means the effulgence of positivity. Tej, Pratap, glory. So one whose glory and one whose the whole radiance is what? Mahajagvandana. It is Mahajag, Jag, the creation, Mahajag, the entire creation, stressing on the vastness of the creation. Vandan, one who is revered. So one who is revered all across the whole creation for his glory and his radiance. Tej Pratap Mahajagvandana. So one who is the incarnation of Lord Shiva, one who is the son of Kesari, one whose radiance and one whose glory is revered all across the entire big, great universe. Tej Pratap Mahajagvandana. So, starting with the first part, Shankar Suban or Shankar Suvan. One who Shiva became into, one that Shiva incarnated as, Shankar Suvana. We discussed about this in the very beginning of the session, wherein we discussed how Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu had this desire, wherein Lord Shiva wanted to worship Lord Vishnu as his devotee, and Lord Vishnu in turn had this desire to worship Lord Shiva as his devotee. And that happened when Lord Vishnu incarnated as Lord Rama. Lord Vishnu worshipped Lord Shiva in the southern tip. Before going to Lanka, Lord Rama, Lord Vishnu in form of Lord Rama, he wanted to build a Shivalinga and then offer his obeisance. But he asked Hanuman to go to the north, to Kailasa, and fetch a Shivalinga made out of rock. But Hanuman took a lot of time. He delayed. So Mother Sita made a Shivalinga out of sand and they worshipped the Shivalinga. And when Hanuman came back, he was very sad that the Shivalinga that he brought was not worshipped. And that's how the temple that is in Rameshwaram, Shiva temple, has two Shivalingas. I mentioned that the last time when we discussed about it. One that was built by Goddess Sita, and Lord Rama and Sita worship that. And the other one is brought by Lord Hanuman from Kailasa. That's why there are two Shivalingas that are worshipped in the Rameshwaram temple. And on the other side, Lord Shiva wanted to worship Rama, and he incarnated as Hanuman, and he wholeheartedly, or to his heart's full, he worshipped Lord Rama as a sincere devotee, and he remains as the best example of how a devotee or a disciple should be like. So, Lord Shiva incarnated as Hanuman to worship Lord Vishnu in form of Lord Rama. But then there's a story behind how the incarnation happened. Of course, there are many different versions of these stories. So these are not stories that are directly narrated in Ramayana. They are based on interpretations or folklore or different versions of Ramayana that add more dimension to the teachings of Ramayana. So the story goes wherein Ravana, who is an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva, and he had many great qualities, many abilities, and being an ardent devotee of Shiva, he goes through this severe penance so as to get Lord Shiva's blessings and seek boons from Lord Shiva. And then he goes through this very severe penance, and the Devas, the demigods, were all worried that he's going through this penance, because if he gets if Lord Shiva grants him a boon, he would seek a boon wherein he would not be vanquished anymore, and he would take over the heavens and the netherworlds and all the worlds, and he will wreak havoc. So they kind of dissuaded Lord Shiva from giving him any boon. But Ravana was so intense in his penance that Lord Shiva had to finally give in, because Lord Shiva has this name Bholenath, the innocent Lord, the innocent form of God who would just completely fall flat in front of devotion. So when he sees his devotee going through this penance, Lord Shiva finally grants him a boon. Now that's where the problems begin. So Ravana asks for a boon. There are two versions of the story. One, it says he asked for two boons. The other one, it says he asked for a boon and that the boon changed. In any case, we are going to talk about two boons. The first boon, that I need your Atmalinga. Atmalinga, Lord Shiva, is worshipped in various forms. In form of linga, that represents oneness, a spherical shape which remains the same from every direction, that represents oneness. So there are various forms of Shivalinga. There's form where it is the rock Shivalinga that is made out of water, Jalalinga. There is Vayulinga, just air, which is worshipped. There's Agnilinga, there's Jyotilinga. So there are various different forms. So Atmalinga, Atma basically translates to the soul, the self, and Linga, the form of Lord Shiva, representing oneness. So Ravana asks for Atmalinga, literally asking for Lord Shiva's soul. And it is believed that one who attains Atmalinga attains immortality. So now, rather than asking for immortality directly, which he wouldn't get, Ravana tactfully asks for Atmalinga. I want Atmalinga, that way I would become immortal. And now everyone wanted Lord Shiva not to grant him that boon, but Lord Shiva grants him the boon, Atmalinga. So now that's one version. There's another version wherein then he asks for the second boon, is what one version says. The other version says somehow Lord Vishnu plays a role in changing Ravana's mind, wherein he says, okay, if Atmalinga is not given to me, give me the second boon. And the second boon he asks for is Shakti, the wholesome energy of the creation. And who is the wholesome energy of the creation? Lord Shiva's consort, Parvati Devi, Shakti. And he asks Shiva for his own wife. He says, I want your wife. And some version says he asks for the most beautiful woman in the world. And goddess Parvati is the most enchanting form. So indirectly he was asking for Lord Shiva's soul and Lord Shiva's energy, the divine soul and the divine energy. And if he gets both, he's just immortal. But then Lord Shiva grants him that. Lord Shiva is completely taken aback when he's asked for his own consort to be given as boon. But then goddess Parvati goes with Ravana, but she has a plan in mind. On the way, she somehow confuses Ravana with such that Ravana confuses Parvati Devi with another woman. And that's who he finally married. Her name is Mandodari. So it seems there's a backstory for that, wherein there was this Apsara, a heavenly celestial being, who, because of her misdeed, got cursed by Mother Parvati to be transformed into a frog. And Parvati Devi promises her, telling, when it is the right time, I'll transform you back into a beautiful human form again. And this was the right time. And she transformed her into a beautiful form of a woman, and Ravana mistook her to be Parvati, fell for her beauty, and took her to Lanka, and goddess Parvati came back to Lord Shiva. So that's how the second boon was taken care of. And it seems the first boon was taken care by Lord Ganesha. Lord Ganesha, one of the restrictions with the Atmalinga is if it is kept down on the ground, on the bare ground, you will lose the Atmalinga. It should be always dealt with respect. That's why it should never be placed on the ground. And it happened such that during dawn and dusk, Ravana would always perform his daily prayers. And because he had to perform his daily prayer in the evening, because Vishnu, it seems, he played a game wherein he made it as if it seemed like it is dusk, and Ravana had to perform puja, and he had nowhere to keep it. And Ganapati goes there in form of a small boy, telling, I'll take care of it. You can do your prayer. And in that process, he places the Atmalinga down, and Ravana loses Atmalinga too. So he loses the first boon, he loses the second boon. So there are different versions of the story. So let's not go too much into details of how the incident or how the episode went. But the idea here is Ravana sought the boon, but he lost both of them. The spiritual impart here is that Ravana did wholeheartedly, dedicate himself into the penance. So that's a very good thing. But where was the lacking happening, or where was the not so good thing happening? The whole dedication was based out of self-interest. It was selfishness with which he was performing the penance, because he wanted to become the most powerful person. So when selfishness comes, even a good deed that we perform becomes otherwise, or it fetches disgrace to us, though we are doing something good. But when our attitude is not right, even a good deed becomes, or it produces a bad fruit for the action. So when he's offered the boon, he acts too smart, or he acts without Shraddha. He acts for Shiva's own soul, and he asks for Shiva's own Shakti. And Lord Shiva is taken aback by that. Bholenath, as innocent as Lord Shiva, he's taken aback by that. It reminds me of the situation that happens around Amma during darshan. These cute little children, little babies come near Amma or come for darshan, and then Amma has this habit of seating them right next to her on the darshan chair, right? And there are two categories of babies that I can think of. The first category, those children who are just there, completely calm, either just looking at Amma, or they're just busy looking at the candy that Amma gives them. And they still stay still. In the corner of the chair, they just stay still. And they are definitely adored by people all around. Everyone is smiling at them, laughing at them, adoring the cuteness that they exhibit. And then there is this second category of children. Children who are kind of fidgety in nature. They can't just be. They'll stand up, they'll try to sit over Amma, they'll push Amma, or they'll try to make more space for them, push Amma to the corner of the chair. And what happens? In this process, the volunteers around slowly lift the child and move them away from Amma. Let's not blame the child. The children are doing it out of innocence. But let us relate our actions to that. Ravana's action was more like the second category of children, wherein he was given the boon to sit next to, the Lord. But what did he do? He kind of tried to push the Lord away and try to take his own Shakti, his own Atma. So that was the mistake he made. So what happened? The volunteers around, now they had to pick him up. Who were the volunteers? Vishnu, Parvati, and Ganesha. They were the volunteers who picked the child out, telling, you don't deserve to be here. Let's get going. And Ravana was completely moved out, and he lost both the boons that he got. Right? So I thought that was a good analogy to relate to this process. So Ravana's arrogance did not please many of the demigods. So it seems Lord Shiva, who exists in the form of 11 Rudras, the 11th Rudra decided. The 11th Rudra was very, was not happy about the whole incident. The 11th Rudra was kind of incensed by the whole event. So when I talk about 11 Rudras, let's quickly go into the 33 Koti Devatas. We usually say in the Indian tradition, Sanatana Dharma, there are 33 Koti Devatas. It is one way interpreted as 330 million deities. That's what 33 Koti Devatas mean. That's one interpretation of it. The other actual interpretation of it is there are 33 Koti Devatas. Koti could be translated into crore. Crore is 10 million. That's how we come up to the number 330 million deities. The other way of interpreting it is there are 33 Koti. Koti is extremely exalted, supreme devatas. There are 33 supreme gods or deities in Sanatana Dharma. And who are the 33? There are 8 Vasus. 8 Vasus are those that serve Lord Vishnu. So they help with the sustenance of the creation. And there are 11 Rudras who are but Lord Shiva's forms, who help with the dissolution in the creation. And then there are 12 Adityas, who are the sons of Aditi, the Devas, the demigods, who manage or who are the factors, or who are the factors that manage the elements of the creation. And then there is Indra, who is the lord or who is the king of all the devatas, the heavens, and then Prajapati, the creator. So these are the 33 devatas. That's why it's called 33 Koti Devatas. Muppati Mukkodi Devata, 33 Kodi. So it could be interpreted as literally as 330 million deities, or otherwise the actual interpretation is 33 of these exalted deities. So of the Rudras, there are 11 I mentioned. The 11th Rudra was not pleased by Ravana's deed. And 11th Rudra incarnates as Hanuman, who eventually becomes the cause for Ravana's downfall. That's how it comes to. So again, the spiritual impart here is the 11th Rudra is usually associated with the soul, the self. Each of the 11 Rudras have some significance. The 11th Rudra is associated with the soul. So the point here is all the other 10 Rudras were satisfied by his penance, and they were part of giving him the boons. But the 11th Rudra alone did not fall for Ravana's penance. Rather, he was unhappy about Ravana seeking the boons that he did. So the spiritual impart here is we may be able to satisfy or even deceive all our dear and near ones, everything and anything in the creation, but to deceive the soul is not easy. To deceive our own conscience is not easy. It's not possible, literally. And the soul or the conscience will always come back after us, questioning the wrong deed that we ventured into. So that's the whole significance here. The 11th Rudra, which is associated with the soul, is what finally incarnated as Hanuman. That's why Hanuman is referred to as Rudra Avatara. He's the incarnation of Rudra, or he's also referred to as Amsha Avatara. He's not referred to as the whole Shiva Avatara. One of the Rudras, the 11th Rudra, incarnated as as Hanuman. That's why he's referred to as Amsha. Amsha, a part. The incarnation from a part of Lord Shiva, Amsha Avatara. So, thus Hanuman was born. So, he who is the incarnation of Shiva. So, I thought I should relate this incident so that we understand the whole significance of Lord Hanuman being incarnated, being an incarnation of Lord Shiva. So, he was born as who? Son of Kesari, the biological father being Kesari. We discussed about how Hanuman is also referred to as the son of Vayu, the wind god. So, the Rudra Avatara, the 11th Rudra, is destined to incarnate as Hanuman, so as to become a reason for Ravana's downfall. So, what happens? Lord Shiva requests Vayudeva, the wind god, to take the energy, the force in the 11th Rudra into the womb of Mother Anjana. So Vayudeva brings the energy and instills that into Mother Anjana's womb. That's why Vayudeva also has a role here. So he is also referred to as Hanuman's father. And then we also discussed how Dasharatha, the father of Lord Rama, was performing the yajna to beget children. And the fire god came out and gave him payasam, that is to be fed to 3 of his wives. And in that process, a bird comes, pecks a little payasam out of it, and it drops it elsewhere, and Vayudeva carries that into Mother Anjana's hands. And Mother Anjana consumes that. And that's how Hanuman is born. So we discussed both these stories. So Vayudeva has a role in Hanuman's birth. That's why Vayudeva is also referred to as Hanuman's father, and Kesari, the monkey chieftain, he is also referred to as his father, because Kesari was the biological father. He is the one who gave body to Hanuman, and Vayudeva is the one who gave the soul, the energy to Hanuman for who he is. So that's why both of them are referred to as, or Hanuman is referred to as sons of Vayu, son of Vayu and son of Kesari, both. So Shankar Suvan Kesari Nandan, who was born as Kesari's son. Then Tej Pratap Mahajagvandan, one who is radiant and one who is worshipped all over the world. It seems Hanuman, of course, is worshipped for who he was, the example that he set as an individual, as a disciple, as a warrior, the perfect example that Hanuman set. But it seems he also had a boon from Mother Sita, that he would be worshipped all over. It seems after the war, as Lord Rama defeats Ravana, Ravana falls down, defeated. And once they win the war, Lord Rama instructs Hanuman to go to Mother Sita and convey the news to her. So Hanuman goes to the Ashoka Vana or Ashoka Vatika, where Mother Sita is still there as a captive. And Hanuman goes and conveys the good news to Mother Sita. And Mother Sita is so elated. And it was a practice. Then when a messenger comes and gives you a happy news, you reward the messenger. So Mother Sita, immediately she has this instinct to reward Hanuman for bringing to her this happy news of defeat of Ravana and victory of Rama. And she sees she has nothing because she's captive there. She has no necklace. She has nothing precious with her. She tells Ravana, "Oh Ravana, I have nothing precious to give you." "You, huh? Oh Hanuman, I have nothing precious to give you. What could I give you?" And Hanuman says, What could be more precious than your blessing, mother? I want nothing else. What else could be more precious than that? And Mother Sita then gives him the blessing, telling, for all that you have done, may you be remembered ever in the creation, and you will ever be revered for who you have been. So that is the boon he received. So he is worshipped all over the world. And guess what is happening thousands of years later? A person is sitting in front of the camera talking about Hanuman, and there are about 100 people watching that, listening about Hanuman. This very boon is that one who is revered all around the world. And maybe those who are sitting in front of your computer, you're probably from the different parts of the world. So it is literally happening this very moment. One who is revered from all across the world. So Shankar Suvana, incarnation of Shiva, Kesari Nandana, the biological son of Kesari, Tej Pratap, one whose radiance and one whose glory is worshipped all across the world. Tej Pratap, Mahajagavandana, one who is worshipped all across the world. So that's what the 6th verse is about. Moving on to the 7th verse now. The 7th verse goes as Vidyavan Guni Ati Chatur Ram Kaj Karibe Ko Atur or Karive Ko Atur. Vidyavan Guni Ati Chatur Ram Kaj Karibe Ko Atur. Please respond after me. Let us pronounce it in 4 parts. Vidyavan, Vidyavan, Guni Ati Chatur, Guni Ati Chatur, Ram Kaj, Ram Kaj, Karibe Ko Atur, Karibe Ko Atur. Let's pronounce it all together once. I'll do it first. Please respond after me. Vidyavan Guni Ati Chatur Ram Kaj Karive Ko Atur. Vidyavan Guni Ati Chatur Ram Kaj Karive Ko Atur. So describing Hanuman, Vidyavan, Vidya, knowledge, wisdom. Vidyavan, one who is endowed with knowledge. So one who is wise, supremely wise. Guni, guna, qualities. Guni, one who has those qualities. One who is all decorated with the qualities. So one who is full of virtues. So one who is wise, one who is full of virtues. Ati Chatur. Chatur basically means someone who is smart. Ati. Really, really smart. So one who is really smart or one who is very sharp in the mind. Ram Kaj Karibe Ko Atur. Ram, Lord Rama. Kaj, work or activity. So Ram Kaj, activities related to Lord Rama. Karive, to do. Ko, Atur, one who is very eager. Atur, one who is completely eager to do activities that is related to Lord Rama. One who is ever happy being involved in Lord Rama's work. So Vidyavan Guni Ati Chatur Ram Kaj Karive Ko Atur. So Vidyavan, we discussed about how Hanuman is known for his wisdom. We just discussed it the week before. How every word of his, every action of his was full of Shraddha. When Lord Rama met Hanuman for the very first time, he immediately recognized. Similarly, Vibhishana, Ravana's brother, when he met Hanuman for the first time, he recognized him. Similarly, Mother Sita recognized Hanuman for his wisdom the very first time she met him. So Hanuman had that signature of being wise in his actions, in his words. So we don't need to go further into it. I just thought I'll share one verse from a text called Ramaraksha Stotram. Ramaraksha Stotram, set of verses that describe how Lord Rama protects, Raksha, protects devotees or protects those who are devoted to him. So the Ramaraksha Stotram, though it is talking about Rama, it even praises Hanuman. That is the greatness of Hanuman. A disciple getting praised in midst of praises that are showered upon the master. That's the biggest blessing a disciple could have. You know, I'm sure all of us, many of us may have had our name being mentioned during the morning satsangs. And many people get so excited when their name is, when the satsang happens from Amritapuri, Amma said, seated there, and one of the devotees, one of the ashram residents is giving a satsang. And in case they take our name out during the talk, we feel happy. We feel Amma remembers us. We feel my name is taken along with Amma's name. It just gives us happiness. Similarly, when Lord Rama is praised, Lord Hanuman is also praised along with him. So the 33rd verse in the Ramaraksha Stotram goes as, it's a very popular verse that devotees of Hanuman should be familiar with, or highly likely are familiar with. So it goes as, Manojavam Marutatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham Vatatmajam Vanarayutha Mukhyam Sri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye. It says, Manojavam, one who is as swift, as quick as the mind. Mind is the fastest thing in the world. Mind can go from here, next moment it can be in moon, next moment it can be in Jupiter, the next moment it can be in the school, next moment it could come back here. The fastest ever. So one who is as fast as that. And then one who is Maruta Tulya Vega, Maruta, wind. One whose speed equals or parallels that of the wind. One who could just travel as fast as the wind. And then Jitendriyam, Jita Indriyam, Indriya, the senses. Jita, one who has won over the senses. One who has complete control over the senses. Buddhimatam Varishtham. Buddhimat, one who is intelligent, one who is wise. Buddhimatam, of all the people who are wise, he is Varishtham. He is on the topmost of all who are intelligent. So that's how Hanuman is described. He is described amongst the highest of the wise, highest of the intelligent people, highest of those who are known for their wisdom. So I thought I'll share this. And then it goes, one who is the son of the wind god, one who is the best among the monkeys, who is the messenger of Lord Rama, I bow down to him, or I take refuge in him. So I just thought I'll share this verse which stresses on how Hanuman, one who is mentally swift, physically swift too, and more importantly, mentally swift, and one who is the wisest among the wise, that the verse points out to. So Vidyavan, Lord Hanuman, who is known for his wisdom. And even otherwise, it seems we discussed about how Hanuman perceived the teachings of the Vedas from the Surya Deva, from sun god. And it seems Surya Deva is like the Ivy League. It was not very easy to get into his student list, right? We discussed about that whenever we discussed, I think it was 2 weeks ago. And Hanuman made it into it because Surya Deva was so impressed by his words. Another example of how they were, someone in the very first meeting got impressed by Hanuman. So Surya Deva takes him as a student. And he was of the Ivy League students, he was even smarter. He finished or learning all the teachings of the Vedas in no time, very quickly. And Surya Deva was so fond of the student that he didn't want to let him go. So he kept teaching him again and again, it seems, so that Hanuman wouldn't leave and would be around him as a student. So that was the level of his wisdom. Vidyavan, one who is full of knowledge. So I thought I'll share that also. So Vidyavan, Guni, one who is full of virtues, and Ati Chatur, one who is very smart and quick-witted, one who is very smart. You cannot fool Hanuman. Now, one of the important principles in the field of management, in the field of business, is, it's a saying, right? Act or work smart rather than working hard. Working smart is much better than working hard. I'm sure we all agree with that. It's an obvious thing. So working smart is what is most important than working hard. I thought I'll share a video with you. It's from the Indian commercials from many years ago. I remember watching it when I was much younger. This is about a person who is implementing this, acting smart rather than acting, or working smart rather than working hard. So if you play that video, it's a commercial wherein there is this rustic, old, dusty salon, and there is this old barber sitting there, jobless. And a youngster comes in with an attitude. He shows a lot of attitude. And then he asks him, I want this particular hairstyle. And all that the old man does, feeds him with a specific candy. Lo and behold, the hairstyle is achieved. So it's about a candy called Center Shock in India. Center Shock, it's a candy which is very spicy or very tangy inside. So their idea is it'll give you that shock that all your hair will come all standing. So this is an unassuming barber, and this youngster comes in with a lot of attitude telling, I don't think you can do, but I want this hairstyle. And the barber was quite smart. He didn't use his scissors, he didn't use his comb, he didn't use anything. All he did was use a small candy, and the objective is accomplished. So act smart rather than acting, or work smart rather than working hard is what we need to achieve, or we need to aim for. So when you say work smart, what does that mean? To work smart means try to understand and assess the situation as best as we could. Try to assess the situation that we are in. And then we need to assess how would the principles of dharma, righteousness, apply here. Because certain things may be right to do, but in certain situations, the right thing may end up being a wrong thing to do. Right? Being patient is good, but being patient on the day before of exam, thinking, why am I hurrying through studying? Let me study later, is not the right dharma there. So dharma is contextual in nature. Every situation demands different form of dharma. So assess how dharma would best work in that situation, and then act accordingly, taking the bigger picture into account. Not just be focused just on that situation alone. Be aware of the bigger picture and then act. So that's what would mean when you're acting smart. 1, assess the situation, understand it. 2, assess what is dharma in that given situation. 3, act accordingly. 4, take the bigger picture into account rather than just being fixated on that situation alone. Only then we are being smart. So again, going to a story of Hanuman, how Hanuman exhibited this. So he's referred to as Ati Chatur here, one who is very smart. So the war is happening between the Rama and the Vanara, the monkey army against Ravana and his army. So it seems there's this meeting going on in the Rama camp when one of the spies comes and tells Rama, informs Rama, it seems Ravana is performing a huge yajna, a fire ceremony called the Chandi Yajna, and the Chandi chanting. So a yajna invoking Mother Chandika or Chamundi, the divine mother in ferocious form. And they are trying to do this yajna so that they can get all the power, all the Shakti, all the energy from her. And once they are successful with that yajna, they will defeat us. So that is their strategy. Now they have everyone comes into the situation room. Now they are trying to see what should be done. And it seems Lord Rama tells Hanuman, I am giving you complete freedom. You can go to the yajna, the place where the yajna is happening, and your objective is the yajna should be unsuccessful. Do whatever you want. You need to go there, disrupt the yajna. Make sure the yajna isn't successful. That was Rama's confidence in Hanuman, and Hanuman is now on his way to the place where the yajna is happening. So Hanuman has two choices now. One, he could just go use all his strength, completely destroy that place so that the yajna is all disturbed and come back. That is one option. But if he does that, how is he different from the asuras? How is he different from the demons? Just going, and a good thing, yajna is a good thing that is happening. He just goes and destroys it. It will be not dharma. So Hanuman thinks that is not what I should do. What I should do is tactfully handle the situation. So he opts for the second option. What does he do? He goes to the Yajnashala, first assesses what is happening. And he sees that the guru of the devas, the guru of the demigods, Brihaspati himself is performing the yajna. And Hanuman is quite taken aback. How can Brihaspati be on Ravana's side? He's supposed to be on the right, the side of dharma. How is he doing that? Then he realizes that Brihaspati is forced to perform the yajna. So he is at gunpoint, or rather he's at the sword point or arrow point, and he's performing the yajna. So Hanuman thinks, first I need to get him out of the equation. So he transforms himself into a small fly, a house fly, and then starts flying around Brihaspati, distracting him. And Brihaspati realizes that is Hanuman, not a normal house fly. And he gets the message conveyed, telling Hanuman is going to create a lot of confusion here, and all the soldiers who are around him are going to focus on the fly. And when they are focusing on the fly, you just get going from here. Just escape. Don't do the yajna. And successfully, Hanuman creates a lot of confusion with the small fly flying around, and all the soldiers are focused on getting hold of the fly, and Brihaspati escapes. Now Ravana is not going to give up that easily. He says, if Brihaspati is gone, I'm still going to have all these various priests that I have in my kingdom, have them complete the Homa. So he gets all these priests from wherever he could, asks them to complete the Homa or complete the Yajna. They are not really familiar with the process or the procedure of the Homa or the Yajna. So they are just like somehow trying to do it because they are forced to do it. So now what happens? A young priest joins them in the Yajna. And who is the young priest? It is Hanuman in disguise. He doesn't come and destroy the thing like an asura, like a demon. Rather, he joins into the party. He joins the party with the assumption he is going to derail the party. And what does he do? He joins as one of the priests performing the yajna. And then there is a text that the priests have to chant. They would say, Jayatvam Devi Chamunde, Jaya Bhutarthakarini. Jaya Tvam Devi Chamunde. Oh, Mother Chamunda, or Mother Chamundi, Jaya, victory to you. And Jaya Bhutartha Karini, Jaya, victory to one who bestows or who facilitates all that is desired. So that is the whole idea here. Please Mother Chamundi, so that she bestows upon us what is desired. We are desiring victory in the war, and they are invoking Mother Chamunda or Mother Chamundi. Now what does Hanuman do? He goes, and so all the priests are reading it from a text, and they are repeating the mantra and offering it to the fire. What does he do? The last word in the verse, Karini, he changes the Ka to Ha. So Karini becomes Harini. Harini basically means one who annihilates, one who destroys that which is. So now what does the meaning become? Victory to the Divine Mother who destroys whatever we desire. The intention was victory to the Divine Mother who facilitates or bestows upon us what we desire. Now they are chanting victory to the Divine Mother who destroys what we are desiring, who destroys what we are desiring. So Hanuman did not create any destruction there. He made, they themselves create their own destruction. So the Divine Mother obliged, she said, okay, you are asking me to destroy all your desires. May your desires be destroyed. And the yajna becomes a failure. So that is how Hanuman acted. He assessed the situation and he acted according to dharma, not creating any havoc, but he tactfully accomplished the job assigned to him. Make the yajna into a failure. So that's why he's referred to as Ati Chatur, one who is very smart, one who is very sharp. So Vidyavan Guni Ati Chatur. And then the next line goes as the last part, Ram Kaj Karibe Ko Atur. Ram Kaj. In Hindi, there is this term called Kam Kaj. Kam Kaj is just mundane activities that we do, the daily, day-to-day activities, Kam Kaj. And the idea here is to convert Kam Kaj into Ram Kaj. Both of them are rhyming. Kam Kaj should become Ram Kaj. Mundane activities should become activities that are meant for the divine, that are meant for the Guru, that's meant for the Lord. So again, a story from Ramayana, wherein after the victory in Lanka, the whole army along with Rama and Sita, they are back in Ayodhya and everyone is happily living there. And one day Rama raises this to the Vanaras, telling, the monkeys telling, don't you have to go back to your kingdom in Kishkinda? You can't just be here in Ayodhya. And the monkeys were completely taken aback. They were like, how can we go back? We find our life in you, in serving you. We are involved in Ram Kaj. And going back to Kishkinda, we will do only Kam Kaj. We will do only mundane activities. We will be involved only in meaningless activities. But we want to be involved in Ram Kaj, not Kam Kaj. And Lord Rama says, advises them telling, it is not necessary that you be in Ayodhya alone to do Ram Kaj. You can go back to Kishkinda, to your kingdom, and still be involved in Ram Kaj. How? By ever keeping me in your mind. Whatever you do, think that you're doing it for me. And once that happens, everything becomes Kam Kaj. No activity is mundane thereafter. Every activity becomes meaningful. So, this is a message for all of us too, who are missing Amritapuri. We think, oh, I'm missing Amma. I'm not being able to be near Amma. I'm missing when I see all the webcasts from Amritapuri. I'm not able to do anything meaningful. This is the very message Amma has for us too. That's what she mentions. Do everything keeping the divine in mind or keeping Amma in mind. And that action will become meaningful automatically. Amma used to share this incident, I think, in 2018 during her talks. I'm sure you would remember it. It's about a doctor who was very short-tempered. and he would just react to his patients sometimes not in a very a nice way. And once it happened that he was so impatient with one patient, he was so impatient with a patient, the words pun intended here, the impatience with, he was so impatient with a patient that it actually led to that patient almost dying. And he felt so sad, and he told that to Amma. And Amma told him, the next time onwards, whenever a patient comes up to you, just assume that Amma has sent that patient to you. And also think that the patient is going to report back to Amma after whatever treatment you give the patient. How would you deal with the patient then? And he took that very seriously, and his attitude towards his activity that he otherwise thought was mundane and meaningless became very meaningful. And he could benefit so many people because of that. Just because he brought Amma into the equation, the same activity that he did without, any interest now became very meaningful for him. I usually give this example of traffic sadhana. I'm sure you remember that from other scriptural discussions we have had. When we drive a car, we sometimes don't care about the light turning yellow and from yellow to red. Sometimes we don't care about the stop sign. Sometimes we don't care about lane changing, whether someone else is there on the lane. We just sometimes get reckless. We become, we lack shraddha, etc. But think of when we are driving the car with Amma in the car. If Amma is in the car, do you think we will miss the stop signs? We'll be all the more careful that we don't get pulled over with Amma in the car. We will definitely not miss the yellow lights turning into red. We will be all the more polite as we drive when we change lanes, right? When Amma comes into the equation, automatically driving becomes a sadhana. It goes from Kam Kaj to Ram Kaj. And Amma sets the right example. Amma herself was like that. When she was young, she was forced to discontinue her schooling in the 4th grade. And Amma at the age of 9 had to take care of the household chores because Amma's biological mother fell ill. So she had to cook, she had to clean the house, she had to take care of the cattle, she had to wash the clothes, she had to wash the dishes and everything of all her siblings, father, mother, etc. And Amma would do it so happily. Think of a 9-year-old girl doing all the chores of the house with a big family, with 5 or 6 siblings, father, mother, grandmother, cattle. But Amma would just do it happily because she would equate all that she would do with Krishna. Whenever she washed clothes, she thought she was washing Krishna's clothes. Whenever she cooked food, she thought she was cooking for Krishna. Whenever she cleaned the house, she thought she was cleaning it for Lord Krishna. Whenever she took care of the cattle, she thought she's taking care of the cattle from Vrindavan. And every moment became blissful for her, rather than it being a burden and suffering for her. So, adding the equation of the divine or the beloved deity into whatever we do, even mundane activities will become will become Ramakaj. Kamakaj will transform into Ramkaj. So, Hanuman is the very representative of that. And the story from Ramayana that I was narrating, Rama asks all the Vanaras to go back, but he asks Hanuman alone to stay back. So that's why one who is ever dedicated to the activities of Lord Rama, or to more broadly understand that, one who is ever dedicated to the activities that are dharmic in nature, that subscribe to dharma. Lord Hanuman is known for that. That's why Ram Kaj Karibe Ko Atur. Okay, so these were the points I had to discuss. The 6th and 7th verses is exactly 8:30. Perfect timing. We will conclude it here. I had a couple more slides. I don't know whether we need to go over them because it's already 8:30. I summarized all the verses that we have discussed so far, the points about understanding devotion with respect to each verse. What are the takeaway points from each of the verse? So should I do that, or because it's already 8:30? because there are 7 or 8 verses. We'll anyway send the PDF out, the mailing list, so you can always refer to that. Whenever we have time, we'll always go over it. So the verses, you can just show them. I just put it in a table format, just the takeaway from each verse with respect to devotion. So who a true devotee is, or how should we sustain ourselves in the path of devotion. These are the pointers from each of the verses that we have discussed from Hanuman Chalisa. So feel free to go over that. I hope it benefits. So let's conclude the discussion here. We will now sing the Hanuman Chalisa. Give us a couple of minutes. We'll set up the mic and then we'll start the singing. Om Amriteshwariyai Namah. This part now I said we pray, especially pray for conveyed and
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुरु सुधारि बरना रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फल चारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरा पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा, हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजय, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम, जय हनुमान। सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम, जय हनुमान। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाय संजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बढ़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम्हरो जस गावै, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कई सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम, जय हनुमान। सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम, जय हनुमान। तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही, जलधि लांघि गए अचर जनाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपै, तीनों लोक हांकते कापै। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम, जय हनुमान। सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम, जय हनुमान। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है परिसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम। जय हनुमान सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम। जय हनुमान तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै। अंत काल रघुवरपुर जाय, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाय। और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटै मिटै सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, झूठ ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़ै हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजे नाथ हृदय मह डेरा। कीजे नाथ हृदय मह डेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। ओ माता सीता की जय, ओ माता सीता की जय। ओ भ्राता लक्ष्मण की जय, ओ भ्राता लक्ष्मण की जय। भरत और शत्रुघ्न की जय, भरत और शत्रुघ्न की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु, लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु, लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।